Welcome, fellow horror hounds, and welcome to the latest episode of Talk and Stalk, your unholy home for horror. I'm your host, as always, Barry, and for today's episode, I'm just basically going to be talking about the recent announcement of the Scream trailer. Obviously, the fifth film in the franchise, scheduled for a January release next year. Now, I've been waiting for what feels like forever, as many Scream fans have for a trailer to this film. I mean, we're in October now, and we've not even had a teaser trailer or anything. And I was kind of thinking to myself, there is the possibility that this film might get pushed back. There is the possibility of that, as it's been getting nearer and nearer release, and there's basically been barely any marketing around this film. For the Scream fans out there, we know this film's happening. We're really excited for this movie. Cautiously optimistic, probably the best term attributed to me, actually. I'm really excited, kind of nervous at the same time, but it's going to be what? It's going to be 11 years. 11 years since we've had a Scream film. So, yeah, I'm pretty hyped up for it. But yeah, there's barely been any kind of marketing around this film. And as I said, I mean, the movie's out in 3.5 months' time, and we've not even had a teaser trailer yet. But there was the recent announcement that the trailer is going to be attached to the original 1996 Scream, which is actually being re-released at the cinema on, I believe it's October the 12th. I'm going to go. Scream is a movie that I never got to experience on the big screen, simply because I was too young. It's a film I would have loved to have seen on the big screen, actually. Scream 2 as well. Again, I was just a little too young to see that at the cinema. So it's actually going to be attached to the 1996 film, which is obviously coming up to its 25th anniversary. So this is good news. This is now, obviously, it's not going to take long. This is not going to take long to hit the internet. I mean, I'll be going to watch it, October the 12th. Obviously, I'm presuming the trailer will probably be at the end of the 1996 film. I'm not sure if it will be before the movie or after the film, but, I'm without a doubt going to watch this film. I'm just glad that it's finally arriving, because I was getting a little bit nervous, thinking to myself that usually we've had at least something by now, a teaser trailer at the very least. Now, in a way, it's kind of refreshing, though, because with Halloween Kills, they've been completely and utterly relentless with the marketing, certainly closer to release date. Now, obviously, the film was supposed to come out last year. It's been put back by a whole year. But with the trailers that they've been putting out recently, I feel like they've shown too damn much with that film. I'm still excited for Halloween Kills, certainly. I'm a Halloween fan, but I will admit some of my enthusiasm and excitement has been quashed somewhat. And that's only down to the fact of I really do feel like they've just showed so much. I feel like I'm going to walk into this film not really being surprised by anything. Considering how much marketing they've done for this movie. In regards to Scream, we've seen nothing yet. I mean, we've seen some kind of, a couple of promotional photos. We saw a screenshot recently. I think if you look closely as well, I might be wrong here, but you could actually see the runtime for the movie as well. I'm not sure, but I do believe it came from a source a little while ago that the movie's going to be between like an hour and 50 to 2 hours long. Scream 4 is actually the longest of the franchise, I believe. For anyone that likes Scream 4, because I actually think Scream 4 is an improvement on the third film. I know I've talked about that before, but the version to watch is on YouTube with all of the deleted scenes actually incorporated into the movie. I think it is an improvement. I think it's an improvement on the theatrical cut. And it's kind of annoying, actually, because there's a couple of really good scenes in there that I really feel like the theatrical cut could have benefited with. But I'm just excited. I'm just really happy that we've now got a locked-in release date for that trailer. And, as I said, I'm going to be sitting there on the 12th of October, and I can guarantee it's probably going to be all over the internet in just a couple of hours time. But I just want to experience Scream on the big screen, actually, because, you know, not only is it probably my favorite 90s horror film, it's actually one of my all-time favorite slasher films, full stop. But I mean, what I kind of expect from this trailer, because I've been hearing some rumblings that they've been very cautious with this trailer. They don't want to run the risk of ruining anything in this film. You know, maybe Blumhouse could take note, because they've certainly showed a hell of a lot in Halloween Kills. I'm just quite surprised they haven't showed Karen actually being brutally killed yet, because they've shown so many other things. But with Scream, you know, I really don't know what to expect from the trailer, in all honesty. I really don't. I think you've got a great new cast of characters, obviously 3 returning members, you know, them obviously being Sidney Prescott, Dewey, and of course, Gale. As I've said many, many times before, I'm hoping that this film will take some risks. I'm really hoping. Now, what I'm hearing is that this film pays great respect to Wes Craven, that it's kind of coming out that Wes Craven would be proud of this film, that he'd be really proud. And I really hope so. I'm hoping that this film is really going to pay respect to Wes Craven's films, especially the first movie. Now, I don't expect this film to get anywhere close in terms of quality. I think Scream is a film, in a way, it's kind of a one of a kind, because it was basically released at a time when the slasher genre was basically dead. It was pretty much dead. Scream revitalized it. It very successfully revived that subgenre. And it was released at a time where postmodern horror was kind of a new thing. I mean, Wes Craven's New Nightmare came out a couple of years before it, and you had films like Return to Horror High in '87, but Scream successfully, very successfully, kind of gave birth to postmodern horror. You know, from what I understand of this film as well, I've heard that apparently it's not going to be overly meta, which again, I'm all for. Scream was very self-referential, very meta. But as I said, it was fresh, it was new. The problem is you're not going to be able to replicate, you know, the fresh quality that the original Scream had. I just want to see a solid slasher movie that, as I said, isn't afraid to take risks. Now, when they say that this pays respect to Wes Craven, I hear some people saying that, you know, killing off any of these major characters, the 3 main characters of the trilogy, would be disrespecting Wes Craven. I disagree. At the end of the day, if you don't take risks sometimes, you just run the risk of your franchise becoming predictable, becoming formulaic. Now, I'm not going to say that it's going to make or break the film for me. If all of these 3 characters survive again, I'm not going to say that I hate the movie because of that, but I would be somewhat disappointed, because with certain characters like Dewey and Sidney, they've been there since day one, right? This will be their 5th movie. And you think to yourself, how long can their arcs go on for? Honestly, how much more can you do with the characters that are already there? You know, this could potentially, depending on box office success, this could potentially be the start of a new franchise, if you will. You know, so... But yeah, I'm just excited. I'm just happy that we're getting a teaser trailer, whatever it is. We're getting something. Obviously, I don't want them to show too much. I'm a less is more kind of guy. Okay, you haven't really got to show me much at all. I am happy, more than happy, to walk in blind simply because it's a Scream film. I'll go and see it because it's Scream. Don't get me wrong, I'd like to see something from the film, but I don't need a frigging 2.5, 3-minute trailer showing like every goddamn bit of the movie. And, you know, as I said, not to sound like a broken record or anything, I really feel like they've done that with Halloween Kills. And as I've probably said before, maybe had the film have been released on its original release date, which was a year ago, maybe we wouldn't have got some of the trailers and stuff that we've had recently. I don't know. Maybe they think that a year-long wait is quite agonizing for some people, and they feel like some people's enthusiasm is going to dwindle. I don't know. But there's a lot of die-hard Halloween and horror fans out there that would go and see the film regardless, whether the marketing there or not. But, you know, as I might have said before, at the end of the day, in a cinema, the majority of cinema goers are casual film goers. Not everyone is a big film buff. And big film buffs, people that are passionate about films and franchises, will go and see a film regardless. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that I feel if they're not being shown all of these good things in trailers, all of this, you know, if there's not enough selling points, they won't go and watch it. It's as simple as that. They need to see so much within a 2.5 minute, 3 minute time frame within a trailer. You know, and that's the thing. Most cinema goers are more casual film fans. So I kind of feel like with Halloween, the fact that it's been a year wait, that maybe I just think, you know, people have asked me, do I think the trailers have been good? And it's a hard one to answer because there certainly looks like there's some good stuff in this film. But at the same time, to me, a trailer for me personally, it should excite you, yes, but it should also leave you wanting more. And I really feel like with Halloween Kills, I kind of feel like I've seen the movie. I kind of feel like I've seen the film almost. I feel like I've seen 90% of the goddamn film. Now, obviously, you know, I know a trailer is only like 2.5 to 3 minutes long, whereas the movie is going to probably be an hour and 45 minutes or so. But there's still going to be a lot of stuff in the film that we haven't seen in the trailer or whatever. But yeah, I actually, it's a major criticism I have for a lot of modern trailers, especially from the big studios. From the big studio, they seem to want to spend almost every cent they can on marketing and whatever. But I get it. They have to try and get as many people in cinema seats as they possibly can and whatever. But so I'm just really excited to be seeing Scream on the big screen, even though I've seen the film like 15 to 20 times. It's without a doubt one of my most watched horror movies. But I'm just glad to be getting something, whether it's a small featurette, a teaser trailer. You know, the movie's out in January, which, let's face it, time flies by. I remember when this film was announced, and I remember thinking, by God, that's a long time to wait. I couldn't understand actually why it was taking that length of time and why it couldn't be released in 2021. But obviously, the situation we're in, I think, really doesn't help. But that has come along really quickly because it's like 3.5 months away. Yeah. So, but yeah, looking forward to it. And obviously, when the trailer does hit, when I get to see the trailer, I'll be giving my thoughts on it as well. But yeah, because the first Scream film that I actually saw on the big screen was Scream 3, which is actually the weakest of the bunch, in my opinion. I felt like the franchise was becoming a little bit too meta for its own good at times. It was almost becoming a parody of itself. I still think it's a fun slasher film, but obviously I don't think it gets anywhere near the quality of the first two films even. So yeah, so that's all I'm really going to say. Excited to see the film, see the trailer. And I'll be doing not a reaction video or anything like that. Not exactly the biggest of, not a big fan of reaction videos. Anyone that knows me knows that. But I'll certainly be giving my thoughts on the trailer and maybe kind of like what I expect from the film after seeing the trailer, because I really don't know what to expect, in all honesty. And I want to go into the film in a way kind of blind. I want to say blind. I don't want to be reading any online rumors or anything like that. I don't want to be like, you know, people summarizing and coming up with theories as to who the killer is, etc. When Scream came out, the internet was nowhere near as big as what it is now, you know, and it's almost impossible to escape leaks nowadays, you know, if you have online access. Whereas Scream was released at a time when it was a genuine frigging surprise. That two-killer twist was just great. But that's the expectation now. That is the expectation. 3 of the 4 films have had 2 killers. So you almost automatically go into a Scream film now expecting 2 killers. But yeah, so anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about. Looking forward to it. And yeah, there'll be a video coming soon. So thanks a lot to everyone that listened, and I'll be back again soon to haunt you and torment you. So take care for now.